Hi, how's it going? I'm Marlena, and thanks for wandering by. So, I am doing the VR, the hashtag 7 decks for 7 deadly sins. And I know that this is several months old and that I'm late to the party. I'm late to the party by doing my VR, but I definitely have been I watched all of these back when Sylvain at Sylvain's Deadly Sins started this hashtag. So I have my notes, I have all my decks around, and I may have cheated a little bit in places, but let's get started. The first prompt is Pride, a deck you purchased or used for flexing. So I don't, I'm not really, that's not my thing to flex the things that I own. But I guess if there's any deck, what it made me think of is like a deck that I was proud that I was able to afford it. It really was expensive because it's shipping costs from overseas. So the deck is the Shimmering Veil Tarot. This deck is gorgeous. So it's got, these are the beautiful backs, and this is a deck by Silicon. And it is a beautiful, beautiful deck. And yeah, I can definitely, I can definitely still feel proud that I was able to purchase this deck. It's gorgeous. And it falls under this category of pride simply because it was, just because for the cost, but it's so beautiful. I just absolutely love it. And I'm glad that I have it. It was around Christmas time too, last year in December, that I was able to purchase this as a Christmas gift to myself. This could have fallen probably under any of the categories. The envy, because I saw other people had it. The lust category. Oh, there you see my doggy. That's Hilo. That's Hilo. It could have fallen under the lust category. A deck that you wanted for aesthetics because these paintings are unreal. That's the Shimmering Veil Tarot, a deck that falls under the pride category for me. So the next prompt is Greed, a deck you don't share with anyone, only use for yourself. So for the most part, that's kind of, I only read for myself right now, but that's only because I don't read professionally, and I'm happy to read for other people whenever, that comes up. But for the most part, all my decks are for me because I'm mostly reading for myself. But when I thought about this hashtag, I thought about the deck that I wouldn't want to share with anybody else. So a lot of my decks I'd be happy to use to read for others. But I thought of a deck that I wouldn't want to share, right? So this is the Scorpio Sea Tarot by Maggie Stiefwater. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And this deck, I love this deck. You'll probably see this deck show up on other lists if I do more. This deck, God, I'm getting goosebumps with this King of Wands. I love this deck so much. It is, here, let me show you the backs too. And I edged mine in this really pretty, glittery kind of blue, but it's already gotten some wear. It is this, and I know this deck is not for everyone, but it is this amazing, transportive world building experience. It's like this little village on the the water, and all of the people in it like speak to me. They just speak directly to me. And I had, this is one of the first decks that really went outside of the Waite-Smith imagery, and that I started using, and I just fell so much in love with it. I love this moon card so much. I love her artwork. Look at the hedgehog. I love the minors in this deck as well. There's the full card. The minors tell a really great story, and each one, each suit has its own kind of pattern when you put it together. The court cards are amazing. Some of the same characters show up. That's an awesome hermit. Some of the same characters show up. These people feel like part of a story that I've always known. I don't know if that makes sense. It just feels so incredibly personal and tied to my, I don't know, just like my inner psyche, like my, more than that, it's like something sensitive. It's like something, I don't know, it hits me on all the absolutely right levels. And I just love the people. It just, yeah, this deck has, and I have had some serious moments together. And so, yeah, that's why it is my greed deck. That's the Scorpio Sea Tarot by Maggie Stiefwater. Oh no, I don't know if I'm saying it right. All right, let's move on, because I tend to make really long videos and I always say I'm gonna be quick, and then it's like almost an hour long. So we'll see how quickly I can get through this. So the next deck is Wrath, a deck that you're angry at. Okay, so I had to think about this because I'm at a place right now where I'm just like in love with every single deck that I have and every single reading experience that I have. And you can tell if you've been watching my videos that I'm just like a little bit over the top about how much I love the tarot, but you know, that's just what things are like for me right now. But in any case, so Wrath, I was thinking about it, and really this deck, yeah, just immediately, not immediately, like it took me a minute, and then I realized, you know, I went and looked in my purgatory drawer, because I have a few things in there that I'm thinking, you know, for different reasons I could do a purgatory drawer video if you guys are interested in that. But anyway, didn't I just say I was going to try to make this quick, and here I am like babbling on. So this is the deck that I'm angry at, to get to the point, is the Prisma Visions Tarot. Now, this deck is gorgeous. It's beautiful. Everything about this deck screams that it's a deck for me because of the minors. So specifically, when you line a suit of the minors up, it creates a panoramic story. And so the panorama, the artwork is a continuous story. It's beautiful. When you put it together, it's gorgeous. And that's one of the main draws and the reason why I purchased it. Now, the reason why I'm mad at this deck is because, well, especially with the majors, and like it's showing up gorgeous on camera, and it does. When I look at this deck through a camera lens, take a picture of it and look at this deck, I can see everything happening inside the deck. Now, is it in order? Yeah, I must have put it back in order. Like, for example, I wonder if you can see it. In the Fool card, there is a wolf in the water, I believe. I can't see it. I can't find it. I can't see it. I've tried to see it. I can't see it. I read the guidebook and it just like pisses me off because it's like this deck is gorgeous. I love this art style, but like I cannot see the details inside the artwork. And when I was reading the guidebook, I was realizing just how many moving parts I was missing. Like that I couldn't see that in the Fool card. But when I take a picture and zoom in, I can sort of see things, but that's not how I want to read the tarot. I don't want to have to take a picture of it and then zoom in. So like, even with my glasses on, my reading glasses, because that's what these are, I wear them for reading, you know, to see things up close. With a magnifying glass, you guys, like I could not, and let me get to some of the minors too, because this is in order. And the minors are a little bit easier because it's full bleed, right? But still, I struggle like seeing this at all. It reminds me of those like Magic Eye, that Magic Eye artwork that was popular when I was maybe high school, I think. And everyone's like, oh, it's a fish, it's a dolphin, it's a, you know, bird in the Magic Eye thing. Then you're supposed to like stare at it and then the image gets revealed to you. I can't see that. I could never see them. I thought people were lying. I could never see them. I always thought that people were like, you know, lying to me about that. So yeah, so the Prismavisions Tarot is beautiful. It's in my purgatory drawer because I can't see it. I cannot see the artwork. And even though it's beautiful, I can't keep it if I can't really use it. So I'm pissed because it's everything about it should be like something that is, you know, just right for me, and it's not. So it makes me mad. Okay, moving on. Let me move on. So the next prompt is Envy. So this is a deck that you wanted because other people have it. I mean, so probably a lot of my decks are that the case can be made for all my decks, that I got them kind of because I saw other people that had them, because I've done most of my deck purchases after I've looked and seen them on TarotTube here and watched other people, you know, discuss them and walk through them. But last year around Halloween, the Seasons of the Witch Samhain Oracle got on my radar. And I don't know if it came out then, but or it was, maybe it was when the Yule one came out. But everybody, literally everywhere on TarotTube, on the Facebook groups, on, you know, everywhere where I was involved with tarot was talking about the Seasons of the Witch, Samhain and Yule, because they, I think, the Yule one came out just in time, I think, before Yule of last year. And so I have all three that are out right now. So the Seasons of the Witch Samhain, the Seasons of the Witch Yule, and I got the Seasons of the Witch Beltane. And I was envious, you know, of everybody that had these. And then I had to have them because I saw other people with them. But I'm so glad that I did. I don't regret these purchases at all because I got Samhain and then Yule and then Beltane. And I'm so on board. I'm so definitely invested in this particular series. So let me show you a few from each of them. I don't know which one is my favorite. It's probably between the Samhain and the Yule one. It might be the Yule one, which is kind of interesting. I love everything about these decks. I love and it's funny because I didn't put any of these in my Why I Oracle video. And it's funny because they aren't typically like what I had decided was my secret oracle formula that works for me, but it doesn't matter because these do something else for me. These are fantastic for what I did with them. I think I used this all through October and November, or maybe I did like October and half of November with the Samhain oracle, and then I switched over to the Yule, and I'll show you that one as well. And I just did, I mean, I did all kinds of stuff with these. I did mostly like, you know, daily draws, but I also read through the guidebook and did, and these are the backs. Let me show you the backs for the Samhain. I mean, you guys have seen these because you have to have seen these if you've been paying attention to Tarot Tube at all in the last, you know, half a year, then you've seen these. Oh my God, squirrel medicine. But like, I just love, you know, everything about them, like seasonally, it so totally put me in the mood for the season, with, you know, starting with Samhain and through Yule. And, I just, you know, absolutely adored that. And, you know, for me, I celebrate, I mean, I don't really follow to the Sabbats or the Wheel of the Year sort of thing. But that doesn't matter either because it like works in a bit of a secular way for me too. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but yeah, I'm looking at this right now and I can tell you that the Yule Oracle is my favorite. I also had so much fun with this in my journal because these images really like I used to decorate and draw, you know, doodle and do things myself in my journal. And I'm not an artist, but I had so much fun. Oh God, I loved this. Yeah, I definitely pulled this out mid-November because I remember picking this out specifically for Thanksgiving Day. And yeah, I just, you know, let me show you the Beltane. So, you know, and then I had to wait so long for the next one, and that was the Beltane. And I wasn't sure if I was gonna like this as much as the others. There's the backs. But I used this for all of the month of May for Beltane. And it did exactly the same thing. It got me into the, oh sorry, it's glossy, so that's why you can see my ring light. It got me 100% into the season, into, you know, the season, into spring, into just, you know, all of the metaphor and symbology around this time of year. And I love the keyword. I love the artwork. I love the, the poem, or yeah, I guess it's, like the wording, the poems are more, I think, on the others. And it does, you know, use thee and thy and things like that. And that doesn't bug me. I mean, the write-ups in the guidebook are really great too. The spreads to try out are really great as well. And it's just, I don't know. I just had like instant connections with this series. And whatever else they put out, I am definitely buying. And I'm so glad that I was envious of everybody else that, you know, that had this deck. It was the Samhain one that I started with, that I would, you know, that I had those pangs of envy. Okay, I took too long on Envy because I showed you 3 decks, but that you've all, most of you have seen, but still, like, I just, yeah, I really enjoy those oracles. They've just been really, really great for my practice in so many different versatile ways. So the next prompt is lust. So lust, I have to change my voice because I gotta, like, you know, be the actress here. Lust is a deck that you like for aesthetic reasons. And I'm cheating again here too. I'm cheating here because I've got 2. I might even have 3, but let me start with, because a couple of these are decks that I've shown recently. And so I wanted to grab something else as well. But like, I mean, it isn't purely aesthetic, why I purchased these decks, but the aesthetics of them is just like gets me every single time. So the first one is the Tarot of the Abyss. And this is by Anna Torian. Oh, I didn't say the names of any of the other creators. Prisma Visions is James Eads. And the Seasons of the Witch are illustrated. It's Lorianne Anderson, Juliet Diaz, illustrated by Giada Rose. Sorry, I'll put all this stuff in the description box too. But so back to Lust and Tarot of the Abyss. Anna Torian is the artist and creator. And everything Anna Torian does is like stunning. I mean, her artwork is just stunning. So let me show you some. So this deck is all black and white and cream colored. And I love everything about these illustrations. They're just aesthetically gorgeous. I don't know what else you can say. I mean, this deck is amazing. It's deep. It can be kind of intense as well. It is very, I mean, there I go sighing again. It is just, yeah, it's beautiful. There's also something really amazing with the court cards in this deck. It's the story from page to king, and they all have like the same setting, or they all, you just have to follow it, because each one is a little bit different. And I don't want to, you know, like spend the whole time talking about that, but look at this strength card. Like, is that not a beautiful, amazing illustration? Now, I'm not an artist, so I have no idea, you know, what it would take. I have no idea, literally, what it would take to draw something like this. I could never do it. And I just, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's, you know, like, I lust after this kind of aesthetic. I definitely do like black and white decks. Or, I mean, this cream color too gets me. But just look at that. Yeah, anything Anna Torian does, I'm on board for. I guess I could have shown you the Oracle of Echoes here too, which is Anna Torian. I do have that. I have a walkthrough of that deck, and I read a poem with it. I can link that in the cards, I guess, for you if you want to take a look at that. So I am going to show you another one that is a deck that I love so much for aesthetic reasons. And that is I've just shown this in my irreplaceable decks too, is the Yonasa Yaos tarot. And this is the jumbo version. You can see it's jumbo. It's the size of my face. But this artwork is, and I won't show you too many because I'm spending a lot of time. This artwork, these colors, I guess you can tell it's similar in the, like, I guess, what do you guys call that? Is that line work? I don't know. I really don't. But for me, this artwork and and the color palette. That's why I got this the jumbo version, because I didn't want the green. The latest version is green colored, and I wanted this purple one. And even though, look at that, gosh, even though this deck is clunky, I cannot shuffle it. I have to do some weird moves to use it. I just want to just sit here and show you the whole thing, because I think it's so stunning. All the botanicals, the any of the characters that show up. It's like graphic novel type artwork. I shouldn't talk about what I think the artwork is, because I really don't know what I'm talking about with that. I just know what I like when I see it, and this is it. This is totally it. Okay, all right, I'll stop. Oh God, but like, it's pretty, right? So pretty. I can't stop showing you this deck. It is, yeah, stunning, gorgeous. Can't get enough of the Yunasa Yaos. I will always consider that one like the deck that shows, those two are like the decks that kind of show like my proper aesthetic, like what I, what I look at and just like drool over, because I think it's so gorgeous. So number 6, so the 6th deadly sin is Gluttony. And Gluttony is a deck that you really didn't need, but purchased anyway. Okay, so I showed this recently also in my irreplaceable deck. So if you watch that one, you'll have seen this. It's the Margaret Peterson Tarot. Now, I purchased this deck first, and this is the Margaret Peterson that comes in the white tuck box, and it has, these are the backs, and it has gray borders. And I fell in love with this deck, and I used it constantly, when I first got it. And then shortly after that, like really not long after I got this version, I saw that there was another version that had just come out, a anniversary 25th, maybe longer, I'm not sure how many years, anniversary version that has purple or wine colored, maroon colored borders. And I did not need this deck because I did not need the purple one, because I had this one and I was in love with and enjoying this one. There was no reason for me to have another deck, another copy of this deck, just because the borders are different color, but I bought it anyway. And probably because this is, that term soul deck goes around and around the tarot tube, and there's all kinds of, discussion on what that means. But whatever. For me, if I was gonna say something was my soul deck, it would be between the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum, which isn't on this list for some reason, and the Margaret Peterson. And so, to be quite honest with you, this was a gluttonous purchase because it's a second copy of a deck that I already owned. But I gotta tell you that after I got it and started using this, the purple bordered deck and the gray bordered deck read differently. They read differently, and it is that border makes a difference. I don't know, the vibe, the energy, the whatever that you want to call it is, it's different. This is, I don't know how to say it. So I guess with the gray borders, it reads a little bit more clean and clear, what weird words are coming to mind, like spotless, clean. And this deck, it does not that it reads more muddy, because of the purple. It's just moodier, more emotional in a way, I guess. Not that the other one is cold. This is just warm in a different way. I don't know how to explain it. I'd have to like show you, you know, I would have to like compare two different readings to really give you a full understanding of that. But I honestly could, I never want to part with either of these decks. I never want to take off the borders of these decks because they each make the deck read differently and have its own kind of, you know, unique particular voice. All right, we're in the home stretch, and I hope that this is going to be a shorter video, so we're almost there. So finally, we have Sloth. So a deck that you use when you feel lazy. And I'm not sure, so I'm not sure if that really applies, but I guess at this point I feel comfortable enough with the tarot that I don't have to, like, I can go off book if I want to. I read guidebooks because I enjoy reading guidebooks. It's part of not just my learning process, but I'm interested to gather as much information as I can. And it's just, I think it's worthwhile and valuable to read guidebooks. I just like to. But so all that to say that I can go off book. I do feel comfortable kind of picking up most any tarot deck and kind of reading with it. And some decks are more involved than others. Some like the ones that I've shown you, like the Yonasa Yaus, that's not a very typical artwork. And so it's not like an easy reader. So I think what I'm saying is that when I thought about Sloth and a deck that I read when I'm feeling lazy, it's a deck that gives me that, like, it just, the answers, the meanings, the reading just like moves faster. I get what I need from it, which is like the answer, not necessarily say like the good or bad, or you know what I mean? Like I get to the point. I get to the heart of it. I get to the point of the reading quickly, and that's what I need when I'm being lazy, because I just don't want to like have to sit and think for too long about it. So that was quite a preface to tell you that the deck that I would say is my Sloth deck is the Way Home Tarot. And this deck, it's an indie deck, and oh my gosh, oh yeah, here it is. So the creator, Bakara Winter and Autumn Whitehurst, and I'll link to their shop below. The Way Home Tarot is a super minimalist deck. I guess Pippish, you could say, in the minors, right? But it's like stunningly easy for me to read. Like, look at this Fool card. Isn't that amazing with the feet? Yeah. I don't need to spend too much time with the artwork to really, use my intuition. Just opens right up, and it just makes sense to me quickly. And so this deck I've used a lot. This is often one of the decks that I'll grab that, like, I don't know about you guys, but I plan the decks that I'm going to use because I do tarot challenges. I also follow my buddy Dawn Michelle, and I do her monthly medicine with the group, and so that's like a guided practice. So because I do these monthly, tarot challenges on my own, and then I'm also part of the you know, Boho Tarot Weavers membership that does the monthly medicine, I also like set aside and think about the decks, the specific decks that I'm going to use for that practice as well. And so, and those are typically the decks that I'll then use, you know, my readings will end up in my journal. But so this deck will be one that I will just grab during the day, in the morning, midday, before I go to bed, and just like throw down the cards and get the message that get the message. And I could spend time with it if I wanted to, but like I don't need to. That's why it's my sloth. This Four of Pentacles is the most genius thing ever. I love it so much. This is fantastic, because if he moves at all on these lily pads, it's disaster, right? So this is all about security and holding things dear and staying really close and tightened up. Like, don't you guys see that? I saw that image and I knew exactly why this is the Four of Pentacles. That's why I love this deck. That's why it's my sloth. It's so good. So this is probably my favorite hermit card ever in life. It's just, yeah, it's a beautiful deck. It's super minimalist. And I love the court cards. I think that's very special, the way that the court cards have been done. And it just like, boom. It's like, boom. I mean, that was a rough card. But it's really just like, boom. The message is right there in these, you know, very minimalist, but beautiful. I guess this is digital art. So yeah, so there you have it. So we'll go back through it. My Pride deck, the Shimmering Veil, mostly because of the cost. My Greed deck, so that's the deck that I only will read for myself, and that's the Scorpio Sea Tarot. My Envy deck, so I got the Seasons of the Witch series because of all those other people out there that had it too. Oh, I skipped Wrath. My Wrath deck is the Prisma Visions because I can't see it. My Lust decks, which are two of them. So the Yonasa Yaos Tarot and the Tarot of the Abyss. My Gluttony deck, the second copy of the Margaret Peterson that I didn't need, but I'm so glad I have. And finally, my Sloth deck, the Way Home Tarot. So like all these decks are, you know, except for the Prisma Visions, are definitely decks that are in use and that I'm so glad that I have. So yeah, thank you to Sylvain for having started this so many months ago. I thank you again for sticking around with me to the end of this hashtag, and I hope that you all have a beautiful, wonderful day. Bye now.